Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, camps. Let's start off. Okay, few people are missing as usual. Others, keep your cams on, or else I'll be removing you from the classroom. Okay. Great. First thing, how was the Sunday exam? Easy? Okay. We'll discuss the paper in the end. There was only one correction, which I gave bonus, but let's see the rest also later. So today, right, we'll be starting with a new subtopic, integration. So what is this integration about? Let's start with something simple. Let's say we have a function like this, y, x, and let's say we got a straight line. This is x1, this is x2, and this height is y. If someone asks you what is area under this rectangle, what is the area of the rectangle? Is breadth into height, that is y into x2 minus x1, which we can also call as y delta x. Fair enough. So if you want to find the area of a rectangle, that's what I do, right? Take the height, take the breadth, and finish it up. Put it up. We also say this thing as area under the curve. Copy it. Next thing. Now the problem comes, what if I want to find area under something like this? Right, so this is x1, this is x2, and if I try to find this, this area here, so area under the curve, if I write this thing as y into delta x, what is this? We don't know, right? Every instant y is changing, isn't it? At every point, there's a different y. We didn't have a problem in rectangle because the height was constant. So how do we handle this? So what we do, we come up with a thing. Instead of doing this, what we do, we take a very small strip. Take a thin strip. Let's call it dx. Remember what is dx? Dx is a very thin strip. Okay. Choose a thin strip. Let's call it delta x only. Of width delta x. So then the strip would look kind of like this. So this is delta x. This is the y coordinate at that particular x. Now, if I try to find this area, you still end up with some error. Now, if I say area of the strip is y into delta x, there is still some error there. Because even in this point also, the y is exactly not same. It is still varying, but it is much better than the previous one, isn't it? It is better than this guy, no? Error has decreased. Now, see, all this is just for your understanding. No one is going to ask you this in the exam. Getting it? I'll tell you, you just have to remember like what, 5 formulas and 2 identities, and you're done. But I don't want you to learn it so blindly without understanding what it means also. So don't worry too much about it. Just get the basic grasp of, the whole thing. What I want you to understand from all this is, when you have something big and which is varying, you can't understand what is happening. Then you try to study bits and pieces of it. Study each piece separately and then try to add them up. That's what you're trying to do in integration. That's the main crux of whatever I'm trying to tell you. Put it up. Let's see from here how we proceed. Like, Chitansh, are you there? Your mic is not connected. You don't respond to chats. You don't keep your cam on. So I don't understand why should I let you into the class. And this is not the first time. In the last class, it was the same. You don't even respond to the chats also, which I sent you. So I really don't know whether you exist. No issue. I'll tell Mim to call your parents right now. She'll talk. Okay. Copy everyone. Put it on. Put it on. Next one. Okay. Next one. So what we do to make it better? If we make delta x tends to 0, that's you're making delta x smaller and smaller. This is how we write it mathematically. Delta x tends to 0 with an arrow like this. Then what happens? You start saying this guy, if delta x tends to 0, we can write delta x as dx. So error becomes smaller and smaller. As delta x becomes smaller. Right? So if delta x tends to 0, now this is a notion of writing there. It's just a notation. We write delta x as dx. It is just to tell you that the changes become very small. What is delta x? Change. What is dx? Very small change. So from here we get the area is what? Y into delta x when x tends to 0. Again, don't worry too much about this notation. What is this? This is the area of one strip. Okay. So if you want area under the curve, what should I do? Is sum of the area of all the strips. Which is sigma y delta x, which goes from, this is yi xi, where xi goes from x1 to x2. Hope everyone knows this meaning of this symbol. Summation. Since here the delta x becomes very small, we use a symbol called integral, which we write as y dx, which is written as x1, x2. I'll tell you what is that thing. This symbol is also summation. I'll write on the next page. So sigma and the snake ka symbol, right? It's called integral. The meaning is same. Both are adding things only, but sigma adds big things, integral adds small things. Put it. I'll give you more details on the next page.
Can you go to the previous slide?
Previous slide, what is that? Okay. Yeah, put it up. Clear. Any doubts on this? Copy.
So what is that y and x?
You're taking different strips, no? So I goes from 1 to n. Never done this summation ka thing? Sigma, when I say xi, where I goes from 1 to n. In programming, you write na for loop. So the sigma is kind of like this. If someone writes sigma xi, they write like this: I goes from 1 to n, meaning you're putting 1, 2, 3, so on till n. So that's the meaning of summation basically. We are just adding all those pieces. So when you write integral, so meaning is the same only. It's a summation of very small pieces. Both mean the same thing. So when you keep the limits here x1 to x2, and inside you kept some function. From x1 to x2.
So, sir, in integral part, it isn't necessary that we should write xi and yi.
No, we don't write.
Okay.
this thing becomes like this. I'll show you how it looks. This is all just theory, right? It's just for understanding. So don't worry too much about this exact notations.
What is the integral symbol called?
It's called integral only. The symbol ka name is integral. Meaning is it adds up. That's the physical significance. Copied. Next page. So in this, when you wrote xi, x1 to xn, this is called upper limit. This is called lower limit. What is that? Basically, if you remember, we are trying to find areas, right? You're trying to find area from where to where. So this was the lower limit and that was the upper limit. So the lower limit tells you are finding area from where to where. So area between x1 and x2. Same thing in this integral symbol also. X2 and x1. X2 is upper limit and x1 is lower limit. The meaning is same. The only thing you're adding for small things. Just put it on. This much you should have an understanding what you're trying to do. So whenever you see an integral, what you're doing is simply adding small stuff. Let's see, next one. Copied everyone? Okay. So this integral is also called as actually, antiderivative. Means what? Suppose if you have a function y is equal to f of x, you first integrate the function, that is integral f of x dx. I just kept y is equal to there. And if you differentiate this function, I don't worry much about this. In the end, I'll give you some examples on this. That would make it clear. You would get back the function. If you think about it, it's kind of makes sense because when you integrate, you're adding small things. When you differentiate, you're breaking things. So you'll get back the same function again. So if you integrate a function and if you differentiate a function, that integration, you will get back that initial function. So if we integrate a function and then differentiate, we get back the function.
Sir, when we write integration sign, so is it compulsory to write dx?
See now, this is height, this is width, na? That is a small area, right? That you're adding the areas, na? If you don't write dx, what does it mean? You're just adding what you're adding. You're adding by heights. Doesn't make sense, isn't it? What you're adding is area here. So this is the width, small width. This is the height. The height into width, right? You got an area.
Yes.
Then you're adding all the areas. That is the whole meaning of it. So the dx will always come. There is nothing like this. Integral f of x. This is wrong. You have to keep the dx. Without the dx, it is meaningless.
So when we use integration, basically, it is only for area, or can we use it for something else?
Maybe we can use it for everything. I explained it using area because that is something we will understand.
Also, like volume and everything.
Yeah, it'll come everywhere. We'll see applications more on Saturday also.
Yeah.
Copy till here. Now, the main thing is, now whatever I'm going with the formulas, you have to remember them. We're not going to see how we got the formulas. Whatever I taught you till now is just all for your understanding. So let's see the formulas. So if I give you a function and if I integrate this function, right? So how do we do that? The first function is x power n. So integral x power n dx, limits are from x1 to x2. For this thing, the answer is x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Right? Limits x1 to x2. The meaning of this is when the moment you draw a straight line, integration is over. Integration is completed. The curvy symbol went away. right? The straight line implies now we have to apply limits. Don't worry, I'll give you examples. You will get the hang of it. Now we have to apply limits. So what we do for that? First put x2, that is x2 by n plus 1 by n plus 1. Did you see the formula is quite different? Differentiation, what was the formula? N into x power n minus 1. But when you integrate, you got x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. Then put x1 and subtract them. This is what? This is area up to x2. When you kept x2 ka value, you got area up to x2. What is this? Area up to x1. When you subtract them, what you got? Area between them, no? You're getting, put it on. I'll give you examples. After the examples, if you're still confused, you can ask me. So the moment I draw this straight line, meaning integration is completed, now I just have to substitute the limits. Just copy it out. Don't worry. Let me give you 3 examples and let's see after that. This is the most common integration formula you'll encounter. 80% of the problems are based on this one. Done. Clear? Let me give some examples. If someone writes like this, integral x square dx 1 to 2. What was the formula there? N is 2 here. The formula was x power n plus 1 by n plus 1 limits 1 to 2. So n ka place mein 2. So that is x cube by 3. Then what you do? Put 2 there. 2 cube by 3. Put 1 there. 1 cube by 3 and subtract them. That's 8 minus 1 by 3. 7 by 3. What did you get exactly? If you draw this graph yx, this is y is equal to x square ka graph. in this you're asking the area from 1 to 2. And this area is 7 by 3. Understood what it is? Let me give one more. Suppose integral root x dx from 0 to 1. Here n is half. So it's x power half plus 1 by half plus 1. Limits 0 to 1. So this would be x power 3 by 2 by 3 by 2 limits 0 to 1. Put 1, the 1 power 3 by 2 by 3 by 2. Put 0. So 0 goes off, you end up with 2 by 3. What is the meaning of this? Similar. This is y is equal to root x. So you are asking for an area from x is equal to 0 to 1. This area is 2 by 3. So you're actually able to find the area under the curve using this method. This thing theoretically is perfect. If you use computer to calculate integrations, you'll always get a small errors because computers can't take dx tending to 0. This is the meaning of this. One more thing I forgot to write here. Remember, this formula is not valid for n equal to -1. Just add this. For 1 by x, you can't use this formula because see, denominator will get in 0, you'll get infinity. N will be given. The n value has to be given, or else you can't calculate. Just add this. N is not equal to -1. This formula is not valid when n is -1. For that, we have a different formula. Put it up. So this root x is x power half. That will be given. Put it up.
Sir,
Right.
so that x cube upon 3 wala step that you have done, that
Right.
doesn't make any sense, right? Like we can't calculate anything from that.
Where only from this?
Huh.
From that only we can't calculate without limits. It is useless. What this thing tells you is area under the curve. But you need to tell me from where to where. 1 to 2. Then once you put it, it starts making sense. But later on, we will see there's also something called indefinite integration. When you don't know the limits, you just calculate the area and leave it there. We will see that thing. That we will see in the end. This is a better thing because this is what we encounter more.
So the areas we get from this, they are not accurate, right?
They're accurate. Theoretically, they're accurate. On a paper, you'll always get it right. But if you actually went and started measuring this, you won't get it. That
So
is
are
because
they accurate or are they not accurate?
they're accurate only. What I'm saying is, in real life, right, your scales are never accurate. The problems, I'll tell you, first of all, you can't draw this curve in real life. Isn't it? If you ask a computer to draw, what it will draw? It will draw this thing, remember? It will draw a series of straight lines and it will say this is this thing. This is how it draws, I'll show you. This is what the computer draws. It treats that, the curve as small rectangle. This is what I was doing in the beginning. Able to see what we did? So this entire curve, you actually draw it like, small things. So there is always this error, na? If you make it very, very small, can you see the error decreased? There's still an error, but it decreased. So when you're actually integrating, this is what you're doing. You're converting the curve into small, small rectangles. So this was the error. Now this is the error. If you make it even smaller, the error becomes even small. So theoretically at infinity, when x becomes very small, the error becomes 0. That much understanding is sufficient. So let's not get into more into that. Let max people teach you for 2 months. I just wanted to get the crux of what you're trying to do.
Sir,
हाँ,
in the formula जहाँ पर वो n है उधर like we need to substitute the value of the power, right?
right.
Okay.
So all the differentiation and integration we do is theoretically correct, but like
Theoretically
on
correct.
paper,
On paper, if you
it
want to
may or
prove
may
it, you
not.
can't prove it. No, on
Okay.
paper, you want to prove it, you can't prove it. Because when you actually try to calculate the area, you'll get pretty close to it. And that is actually your limitation. Your equipment is not good enough. But it works. Computers can calculate up to like what, 7 to 8 decimals. So that is fine. You start getting an error after 9th or 10th decimal. Acceptable error. So in real life, normally people take up to 2 decimals. But let's say when you're designing something like a spaceship or a submarine or pretty sensitive equipment, they go up to 5 decimals. Because the more decimals you want, the more expensive it becomes. So you have to see up to what limit you are
What becomes expensive?
calculating stuff, maintaining their accuracy. You know, this ballpoint, the balls will be that you never saw. You must not be seeing. It's very small axle. You know, how does the ballpoint pen works? There is the nozzle thing, and there's a small ball here. The ink falls on the ball, and the ball rolls. So that's what you see when you're writing on with a ballpoint pen. That's what's called ballpoint pen. So there's a very small ball inside that nib. Getting it? And when the ink falls on that ball and the ball rolls, you get that line on the paper. Getting it? If you see, right, to construct that's such a small thing, we don't have the technology. We import all those things. Can you believe it? China has recently succeeded last year in making a ballpoint pen. We don't have the technology to make something like that. So making something very, very small, that's actually pretty complicated. Copied, everyone? Let me give you one more example. This now, you can draw this one graph here. Just put this thing. This is what you're actually trying to do. You're trying to convert a curve into a lot of rectangles, and you're adding all the rectangles. And by making the rectangle smaller and smaller, at one point it will become a curve. Theoretically, you'll get the answer. Just draw this one guy. This should be fine. Copy. Next one. Next one. Let me give you one more example. Let's say we have something like 1 by x square dx from 1 to 2. So this can be written as x power minus 2 dx x power minus 2 plus 1 by minus 2 plus 1 from 1 to 2. That's x power minus 1 by minus 1. So you can write this thing as minus 1 by x from 1 to 2. Take out that minus common, you get put 2 there, put 1. Minus of minus half. Half. Until that straight line is there means you didn't keep the limits. The moment the limits are applied, the straight line also goes off. Put it in. Copy. Next one. So this is one formula, okay, x power n. I think let's do a few problems on that before going ahead. X power 4 dx x power 3 by 2 dx one by x cube dx one by root x dx. So get this four. Everyone should give it a try. Look at the first one. Here n is 4. So x bar 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1, limit 0 to 1. X power 5 by 5 and 0 to 1, that's 1 power 5 by 5, 0 power 5 by 5, so that's 1 by 5. Here n is 3 by 2. So x bar 3 by 2 plus 1 by 3 by 2 plus 1. Limits 0 to 1. So that's x power 5 by 2 by 5 by 2. So that is 1 to the power of 5 by 2 minus 0. So that is 2 by 5. This is n is minus 3. So x power minus 3 plus 1 by minus 3 plus 1, limit 0, 1 to 2. So that's x power minus 2 by minus 2, 1 to 2. So take out minus half common, you end up with 1 by x square, 1 to 2, which is minus half into 1 by 2 square by minus 1 by 1 square. That is 1 by 4 minus 1, that's minus 3 by 4, 3 by 8. This guy here is n is minus half. So x power minus half plus 1 by minus half plus 1, limits 1 to 2. This would be root x by half. So 2 comes up and put 2 there and put 1 there. 2 into root 2 minus 1. Check out the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything you need, please ask me. I'll show it on the next page if you want it in more detail. So once you got the integration, it is just a matter of simplifying it. Put the upper limit, put the lower limit, and subtract them. Check it out. Anything you didn't get asked me. Copied. Next one. Any doubts on this? Great. That's the first formula. Second one. Integral sine ax plus b dx. Let's say x1 to x2. This is minus 1 by a cos ax plus b, limits x1 to x2. You might be thinking, sir, how are you getting these things? See, think about this thing logically, yeah? How you get this thing. This answer you have here, differentiate this. See what you get. D by dx of minus 1 by a cos ax plus b. Minus 1 by a comes out. So you're differentiating cos ax plus b. What is this? Cos of something, right? So it is minus 1 by a. Cos ka differential is minus sine. Then differentiate whatever is inside. Minus minus becomes plus. You get sine ax plus b into a cancels off. Did you see what you got? You got this back again. This is what I was saying. The integration is nothing but antiderivative. So, the question becomes like this. This is my answer. Okay. So the question is, what should I differentiate here so that I'll get this as my answer? You're getting how to think? You already know the answer. Now you're trying to ask the question, what should I differentiate here so that I'll get this as my answer? If you look at the previous one, even that was like that was x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. If I differentiated this, what did you get? N plus 1 into x power n plus 1 minus 1 by n plus 1 x power n. Could you see that? That's what we're doing basically. So we are just doing reverse of the differentiation. Put it on this thing. I'll write the actual formula in the next page. Clear? Turn the page. So this is how you're actually getting the formulas. You should think the other way. What should I differentiate so that I get this as my answer? So the formula, let's complete that. So sine ax plus b dx. So what you do, put x2, that is cos ax2 plus b, put x1 and subtract it. Now be careful here. In differentiation, sine ka differential is plus cos. It will get a minus sign. Cos ka integral is plus sign here. Copy this. Copied. Put it on. Put it on. Just a minute. I'll be back. Yeah. Copied. Let's see. Someone was ringing the bell. Next one. Fourth one. Integral e power ax dx. This will encounter mostly in 12th standard. This is 1 by a e power ax. E power ax2 minus e power ax1. Integral 1 by x dx. This is logs. Logs I'll show you later on. So this is ln x, x1 to x2. So that is ln x2 minus ln x1. These are the 5 formulas which you should remember.
So the fifth one is for n is equal to -1, right?
This is that n is equal to -1 case. Yeah. Copied. So let's see a few more problems. Integral sin x dx from 0 to pi by 2. Integral cos x dx from 0 to pi by 2. integral sine 2x dx from 0 to pi by 2. Integral cos 2x dx from 0 to pi by 2. Get that? So basically what you have to do is look at this formula here. Sine ax plus b, na? So here a is 1 and b is 0, isn't it? Just have to compare. Sine ax plus b mein, if you put a is 1, you get sine 1 into x plus 0. So sine x. Are you getting? So you see what is a and b ka value and accordingly substitute in the formula. So here also a is 1 and b is 0. So here a is 2 and b is 0. That's it. So once you know that part, just put it in the formula that you know and put the limits. Finish it up. Over. What's the first one? First one is what? 1 by a. Let me just write down the whole formula for you. Minus 1 by a cos ax plus b, limits from 0 to 90. That's a is 1 and that's cos x from 0 to 90. So minus, let's put cos 90 minus cos 0. That would be 0 minus 1 and that's 1. Make sense? You know what you found actually right now? What you did was y and x. This is the sine graph. You are finding area from here to here. Pi by 2 to 0. Put it up. So this is a graph for the first guy. You're finding the area up to the first this thing. This is pi. This is 2 pi. So the function repeats. Next one. This is again 1 by plus 1 by a sine ax plus b. 0 to 90. So this is 1 sine x 0 to 90. You got sine pi by 2 minus sine 0. That's 1 minus 0. That's still 1. That is this graph. This is the y is equal to sine x. This is the second one. Y is equal to cos x ka integral. The graph starts like this. And you're finding this area. The graphs are just for you to show like what we're actually trying to calculate. What about this guy? Minus 1 by 2 sine 2x, limit 0 to 90. So minus half, put pi by 2, so it becomes sine pi, sine 0. Sine 180 is 0, 0. Wait, I did a mistake. That's cos 2x. Cos pi minus cos 0. Cos 180 is how much? Minus 1. You should remove all the values from 0 to 180. So that is minus half into minus 2. That's 1. That is sine pi minus sine 0. Sine 180 is 0, 0, 0. Check it out. This much if you're confident till now, what we did, I think integration 80% is done. The basics, you got everything right.
Could you show the graph part one?
I'll show. First, get these things done. 6, 7, 5 to 8, any doubts, please ask me. Clear? These are the graphs.